We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you.
Now, when you're going to dial a number, wait for the dial tone. You're all familiar with it. It's the hum you hear in the receiver, like this.
Here he is, the one, the only.
Bonjour, Quebecois. Comment allez-vous? Enchanté. What am I speaking? Supposedly French, but then it could be Quebecois French. I don't know. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you very much for asking. It's 5:14 here on the west coast of Los Angeles, California. Last night we had a memorial show, and we did, we were lively. It was like we were really showing our connection to the community, and how when one person passes, we all got together and like say, it's not like morning. It was more like a wake and say, wow. And it was great to see the community get together. So I'm kind of looking at this the same way. We're looking at this as a community getting together as the big picture. And what I'm saying is community. I'm talking about airsoft and paintball. I've played airsoft a couple times, but as you guys know, I'm pretty much a paintball guy. But how do I say this? The last time I looked, I haven't really seen any airsoft fields, whether it's here in the States or all my travels throughout the world. Basically, airsoft players play at paintball parks. So when I was hit up by an ops guy who was turned on to me by someone else and said, hey, could you help us with this thing? Just maybe tag your name in it or something. I said, just tag my name? No, you hit the wrong guy. We're going to do a show about this thing. So you might ask, what does a Southern California paintball celebrity have to do with Canadian paintball, airsoft? I said in my head, Canadian airsoft. Well, a lot. There's a lot of connections, and I want you guys to understand where I'm going with this. Both paintball and airsoft, not only are they a hobby or a sport, but it's a business. It's a livelihood for a lot of people. It's, how do I say this? Everything from my sponsored company, GI Sports, who make masks and even some paintball, airsoft markers, to the paintball parks. I'm personally connected with a lot of the paintball parks from the East Coast to the West Coast. I've got Mitzi from Excalibur Paintball. She's over in Alberta. I know her really, really well, and she's a woman who owns a park, and this is her income. I know Joe Kimson from Flag Raiders Paintball. Again, this is his livelihood and his income. Donna Lagman from Wasaga Paintball. And we've got Dave and Marie from Commando Paintball. Hugo in the Quebec area. He owns Paintball Maribel. And the thing is, if something like this were to go on, this bill to pass or something like this is a big chunk of their income, because they have paintball games one week and airsoft games one week. And if all of a sudden there was no more airsoft, this is a domino effect. It's going to hurt my friends who own all these parks in Canada. It's going to hurt GI Sports. Core, who supplies a lot of things to a lot of people. It's going to hurt my friends who play both paintball and airsoft, and it's going to hurt my new friends that play airsoft. This is a crazy thing. And I'm going to tell you from personal experience, this tried to happen, I think, in 2015 in Los Angeles. And we got together. There was a big coalition, and Gio from Hollywood Sports actually helped, and it got crushed. So as far as I know about C21 is about exactly what I've just basically said. It's going to hurt a lot of people. I really don't know the inner workings of it, but that's what we're going to do tonight. We got an expert panel of people from BC, which is British Columbia, all the way to the Maritimes. So we basically got all of Canada covered, and they're all airsofters, and they're going to tell us what's wrong with this thing, why this thing is so messed up or whatever. I don't know. Again, I'm jumping in because I feel connected to what they're doing. I hope you guys feel connected to what they're doing. And maybe you can help us. And I think that there's even an American petition you can sign. I think. Here's one more thing. You guys know I only use 2 pistols. Could you imagine if I can't use them? I mean, let's say I fly to Canada with my pistols and they get confiscated, or I can't use them when I go play. It just doesn't make any sense. So we're going to find out tonight more about this bill and talk to some really cool cats. How's that? Done. All right. Let's bring them in. Bam, 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 and bam. Hey.
Hey, what's up?
How was my speech?
Very good, very good.
Very good, yep.
That was like just off the top of my head. I took a shower before and I was thinking about it. So, but anyway. Okay, so let's go around the horn and let's introduce everybody and see who you guys are and what's your connection with this is. Brian, go first. What's up?
Yeah, my name is Brian Duran. I'm the president of the Federation of Airsoft in Quebec, and we're fighting the C21 with a bunch of guys you see just below me. So that's it. So we're fighting hard.
Nice, fighting hard. Jay, what's your connection with this? Wait, hang on a second. Quebec and you're Maritime, which is, if you guys are playing along at home, the Maritimes are like way on the right-hand side. Like there's New York, and then you just keep on going another 12 hours. That's how big Canada is, right? You just keep on going. Okay, so the Maritimes, that's at the very tip of that, the right-hand side of Canada. So this is Jay. Jay, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, man. So basically, I'm a paintball airsofter. I'm also into the real steel side of things, hunting, target shooting. And Bill C21 pretty much touches all of my hobbies in that area. So I just kind of wanted to do some New Brunswick representation on the cast.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, that's all the time we have, Luke. So Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc, as the name says, is a Quebecois, is from that area, right? And
absolutely, I'm from Quebec. And
it's amazing. It's amazing to have you on. And I think you came to me right first and said, "Hey,
yep. I raised the issue with you guys."
Yeah. So and I said, dude, I'm in. I love the Quebecois, so I fell in love with you guys, and so I said anything I can do to help. And I was under the impression at first it was just a Quebecois issue. I didn't know that it was a complete Canada issue. And now I'm finding out that no, it's completely Canada. And the forces that be in Quebec are getting together with the forces that be that are non-Quebecois. And they're saying, we are all one family, right? And we're just doing this thing. So Jean-Luc, where are you from? What's your connection with all this?
Well, I'm secretary of the Quebec Airsoft Federation. I work with Brian, and we're working as mad as hell to fight that Bill C21 as with everybody else in Canada right now. So I'm the guy taking the notes for Brian.
Nice. Okay, I like it.
He's also the spokesman. He passed on a lot of media, TV show, radio, and everything. So it's not only the secretary, like you said.
Fantastic. I like it. Okay. So how's that translator going for you, Jean-Luc? I'm just joking. No, he's
it's going.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so no, he's doing great. Jean-Luc, you were worried about your English, but dude, it's amazing. You're amazing. You're fantastic. I love you. All right. Sean is around Toronto area. What are you? Ontario?
Yeah, Ontario. So my name is Sean.
I've been doing airsoft for like 20 years now. I run a milsim company called Blackline, and I started Airsoft in Canada, or ASIC, as a response to the bill.
Nice. Okay, very cool. I like it. Poi.
Hey, my name's Poi. I'm
where are you from?
From BC. And
wait. You know what that means, but people in Sweden don't know what that means. And people like, you know what I'm saying? What's BC stand for?
British Columbia. That
Thank
is
you.
the west coast of Canada. So I'm out in the west coast area, same time zone as you, I believe. And I work for Panther Airsoft. And not only does this bill also affect real stuff, firearms, airsoft, and paintball, it also affects the movie industry as well. So, being that Panther Airsoft is a giant movie set as well, on top of being a sports park, that's going to affect us heavily in the business end of things.
Nice. Okay, cool. We were obligated by the Canadian rules. You know how they have to play certain music? Like they have to play certain, what was it like, certain Canadian every 5. So we were also obligated by Canada to have a woman on the show. So I'm just joking, Kat. I'm just joking. Nice to have you, my friend.
Thanks very much for having
you on the show. Tell us who you are.
My name is Kat Hazelwood. I'm in the Niagara area of Ontario. I'm a photographer for both paintball and airsoft.
Nice.
I'm a paintball player, but I love shooting both sports. And this would have a huge impact on my life if this went through and I lost it. This is what I do with my life.
Wow. Okay. I like it. LEG.
Hey, what's going on? So I'm Eli. I'm from kind of the eastern edge of Ontario. I can pretty much look at my door and see Quebec on the other side.
Nice.
So what's up, Quebec? I see you. I see you.
I see you now.
I play on both sides of the river over in Quebec and Ontario. I'm actually a paintballer more than anything else. But I support our airsoft guys 100%. So, I've been helping with Sean and Brian and the rest of these great people and supporting ASIC and fighting the good fight, so to speak.
I like it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so like I said, I think around 2015, our local, our California state senators or whatever, some woman or whatever wasn't happy with something. You know how that works. I'm sorry, Kate. But anyway, some soccer mom, as we always say, wasn't happy with something. And then she has the ear to somebody. And then they start, they start like, I'm going to pass this thing. And instead of it being like a well thought out thing, it's usually like a steamroller effect. Like we're just going to throw a hand grenade and kill everybody instead of like, a precision. Well, maybe we should just work on this point. And so, there was a lot of paintball parks. We have a lot of paintball parks in California that got together and said, this is wrong on both occasions, not just for airsoft, but for paintball. And we should work this out. And legislation, lobbying, all that kind of stuff, which it always has to do with money and votes. But we got it squashed. So do you guys feel it's the same thing? Did you guys just, hear some nails for the coffin? Where are you guys thinking on this?
I can go if you want. Yeah, it's looked like the same thing that the California lived like 5 years ago. We have to understand that what they want to do here in Canada too. It's ban all the look-alike assault rifle gun, and they try to do the same thing here. But like California, they try to rip off the airsoft and the paintball markers that look like an airsoft rifle. So now we are at the problem now to fight with the against the government about that, and that's why now everybody in Canada is fighting together to be sure that the bill C-21 will be not approved or will have to be removed, the airsoft and the paintball on the C-21 bills. Okay, how did this bill come around? Does anybody know? Whose idea was it? Was it like a school shooting and someone said enough of this? Or, you guys, this is Canada, right? Come on.
Do you want the suspicious reason of why the bill came about, or do you want like?
Hey, listen, I love conspiracies. Go ahead.
So, our government is not doing a great job vaccinating people, and whenever it seems like they're not doing a good job of something, this specific government likes to target people who own firearms. And so this was a public safety bill that's been issued to attempt to remove all of the issues and safety problems with various weapons and guns and toys. So that's kind of why we suspect it's happened.
Interesting. Okay, are you guys all on the same page with this conspiracy, or you think?
Oh well, let's not call it conspiracy.
Okay,
it's a theory. It's a theory.
It's a theory, but I think Sean is right about it, because we fell so much. Justin Trudeau, our prime minister, fell so much with the vaccine, and now he have some people against him, and now he just want to bring back this bill and say, hey, I did good job, I did bad job with vaccine, but hey, looking, I'm with you for the security part of gun control.
I got it. Okay. Listen,
there's actually an official announcement on sort of why it kind of came out back in, what was it, October or something, when they released that OIC, the Order in Council, and that was released after a mass shooting in New Brunswick. The problem there was, in the news reports of that mass shooting, it said nothing about replicas, nothing about anything airsoft or anything paintball. It specifically implied illegal weapons that were imported. They're not even Canadian guns, not even legal Canadian guns.
Wow.
But that one incident is the horse that they're going to ride out into the sun on.
Got it. So that was kind of the flashpoint. Okay, I got it. Okay, listen. Like I was joking about conspiracies, which I do, but also joking about the Karens that basically cause these things. You're right. A lot of times the government, it's a smokescreen, and they'll say, like, we need to. This is happening, but hey, look over here. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I got it 100%. Okay, so my question is, okay. Do you guys feel that your voices are going to be enough? Your lobbying, your saying we have 1 million names on the petition. I don't know Canada politics, okay? So you're gonna have to tell me. And I also know that you guys have to get it passed by the Quebec. There's a Quebec politics thing. As it was explained to me, I think by Nick, was in America we have the Republicans, we have the Democrats, and then we have the Texans. Right. So then you guys have this, and then the Quebec have to deal with their own kind of a system. Correct. So are you jumping through 2 hoops to get to this thing?
Okay, well, we're going to have a nice shot at it. And if actually it's a complex situation to handle. The political situation in Canada is that we have a government, a liberal government, which is the equivalent of your Democrats, which is a minority government. So if it wants to pass a bill, it needs the agreement of the opposition parties. We've got the New Democrats, we've got the Conservatives, and we've got in Quebec the Bloc Québécois, the Quebec Bloc, and they need to rely on these parties. So what we do right now is we're getting in touch either with the government and the opposition parties to tell them to remove everything related to airsoft and paintball within the C-21 bill, because those are toys, and this the main purpose of that bill is to increase security regarding real hard steel rifle.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a complex situation because we have a minority government. The political issue here is, so here in Quebec, we must handle the Quebec Bloc. In the Western Canada, our buddies must handle with the New Democrats. And all over Canada, because they're spread all over, we also have to handle the Conservative members of Parliament. On top of that, we've got to have a discussion with government, which is, I repeat, minority government.
Wow, dude. I'm sweating right now just listening to that. Jesus Christ. Okay. Tell me, you guys, what's the plan? I mean, boy, what do we got in BC? Is it like you guys have like a bunch of people signing? Is there people standing in front of the parliament? What do you got?
For our side, it's just we're trying to win the media by hearts and minds. It's very difficult to sort of, especially in the West here, where it's a little bit more anti-gun. We're trying to win the hearts and minds of the media. It seems to be working pretty well. We're also trying to win NDP here as well, which is a major territory for NDP parties, the New Democratic Party. They're basically the other opposition that is working with this bill as well. We need their votes as much as we need conservative votes, and we're trying to break through the liberals as well. But as far as movies goes, on this side, they're not very happy that no one consulted them in any way or shape or form in regards to removing airsoft, because airsoft in film is much cheaper than hiring an armorer and using blank fire and having them there for a day. If you need sort of background characters with just like pistols or guns, or it's even safer to point a airsoft gun at an actor at close scene, then they use that to their benefit. But removing that, they have no replacement at all at that point.
Paul, listen, it looks like you've got a big lobby there. I mean, if you could get the movie industry behind this thing, this would be like a big bonus. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're working on that. Yep.
So you guys, that's something in the works. You guys are working on it. Wow. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know about this?
We all know about it because we all work together. We speak with Poy and Sean, Jean-Luc, and every like a week now. So we all have a meeting, like a Zoom meeting each week. So we know what the tactic or the other, what we work, and we work together on the memoir to present to the government. And we all do that together because we have to be one, we have to be strong, and we have to be a one voice, but a big voice against the government when we present at the parliament.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm really proud of you guys. This is fantastic that you guys are like, again, just getting together and doing this. Here's the big question though. You guys are like a race against time. Do you have like a year? What's the deal here?
So we know that the bill has to go through more steps before it gets approved, and one of those steps is something called committee. So basically, the government says, okay, this bill is interesting. Please send it to a group of people to do a bunch of amendments and changes on it. And so we know we have that period, provided that the government will do that, which we think they will because they're a minority government, and everybody else seems to want them to. And that'll be our chance to make some adjustments to what the bill says. So far, and you mentioned strategy and you mentioned sort of support. So far, we've had really good signs from all of the other political parties, right? Both the extreme left and the extreme right have come out saying, this is kind of dumb. Why did you put toys in here? That's weird.
Wow.
And so we're hoping that message starts to resonate through the governing party, the ruling party.
Wow. Okay, this is cool. So again, just to reemphasize here, this is a funky law, and as we say in Los Angeles, but there's a lot of people behind it saying that hey, this is wrong. Let's see if we can fix this thing. There's a petition that people can sign. Is there a place that they can go? So Christopher popped this thing up. What is this one here? GoFundMe.
So GoFundMe is our initiative to raise money in order to hire lawyers to fight this thing. So the GoFundMe from Christophe is a fundraising initiative. But on top of that, there are several other initiatives that have been undertaken, like the petition at the House of Commons, and it's gathering. I don't know the latest number, but they're roughly around 30,000 signatures on that petition. If I'm right,
is that this petition here?
That is the one.
Yep, that's the one.
Now, I heard something about Americans can sign, or is it just Canadians, or is there only an American one?
So this one here that you see below right there, that is 100% Canadian only. That is through our House of Commons. We have a member of Parliament that supports that, and that's it. Now, there is actually something you can do as an American or as anyone international. There's a change.org petition that was also created because it doesn't have to go through the process of being approved by Parliament and members. And if you find that change.org one, that one there, anybody can sign it anywhere and and show their support.
Wow. Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So, Brian, what else? What else are we missing here? Because I'm not I don't even like American politics. So, but it seems like you guys had to learn about or unless you guys are already like, politically active, but it sounds like you had to learn more about the inner workings of how to, negotiate this river.
In our part, we were very lucky because we were prepared for 2 years. We started the federation 2 years ago thinking one day this might be happen. But we never thought it was on the federal, but on the provincial, because Quebec is very, very, they're very scared about guns, and they pass law that the other parts of Canada don't have. So that's why we started the federation 2 years ago, thinking maybe the provincial government of Quebec will go against the airsoft. So we have on our team of the Quebec Federation, Yannick Guénette. Yannick Guénette, is a guy who's very into politics. He helped Justin Trudeau to be there, unfortunately, and he have the new Prime Minister, it's François Legault of Quebec. He worked with this guy. So on politics, Yannick Guénette know everything. It's the brainer of politics. So we're very lucky in the Quebec Federation to have this guy. And I know Jean-Luc did politics too with the Conservative, our friend now. And that's why we were prepared on our side. And that's why we decide to fight again, because we know politics. We know how to speak with the media, what to say to the media, because we prepare ourselves for 2 years, like saying to the media, this is not a gun. This is not a firearm. They tried to remove our toy. We don't belong to the C-21 because we're not firearm. You try to bind firearm, but we're not. We're toy. And this mentality of strategic work very good with the media, and I think it works very good with all around Canada. Poy say that, he says it works with the media. I think in Ontario's work too. You have asked to Sean, we spoke with the media, and we were able to have some compassion from the media instead of being the bad boys with the gun, because we show them it's not a gun, it's a toy.
Right. Okay. So it's an age-old thing. Paintball has been around since 1982, but I was born in 1961, and I remember getting drumsticks when I was a kid. When you eat drumsticks chicken, and there's a certain bone in there that happens to look like a rifle. And so as a 5-year-old, I don't even know anything about anything, but I've got this little rifle now, right? And it's a thing. I mean, it's a thing about hide and seek. It's a thing about dressing up. It's a thing about, mom say, I don't want my kid to play with the guns. And she looks out the window and he's got a stick. You know what I'm saying? And maybe there was something about it in our culture and that. So in one sense, we're fighting this caveman reptilian brain kind of thing like this. And then on the other side, then we've got like these people are saying, it's bad. It's bad. It's just human nature to want to do this stuff.
It's literally tagged with social distancing.
Yes, there you go. Okay,
it's perfect for this world.
And here in Quebec, I'm the owner of a company called Small Airsoft Warriors. We've got 2,300 kids which are playing airsoft on a weekly basis. Put aside the COVID situation, which has stopped our operation, but we've got 2,300 kids which go on the field, on paintball field. They play airsoft. They are from 10 to 17 years old. They're having a ball. Parents agree with what they do, and you know what? Parents are quite happy with picking up their kids, which are dead tired at the end of the day. So it's a family-oriented sport. It's not some kind of elite sport. It's absolutely has no violence whatsoever, because as mentioned, it's a tag with social distancing in between. Right. So there's absolutely no violence, and the kids when they take a pause, to drink something, to drink water, to eat something, they socialize with each other, and it's absolutely fantastic to see them socializing.
Listen, whether it's paintball or airsoft, it's the same thing, right? We get to you guys just don't like to get dirty, but we get together and then we're playing. But when we're playing, we're learning social cues. We're learning how to be honest, right? In airsoft, there's this integrity of like, how do you know you've been hit? Well, if you got hit, you have to say it. I've been hit. Obviously, paintball, you can see that you've been hit. But in airsoft, it's a gentleman's sport, as they say, and it's like, and a woman's sport anyway. But what I'm saying is that there's this kind of this thing that kids learn about that, being honest. Then they learn tactics. Then they learn group management. Then they learn how to make friends that they didn't have before when they come to the field, right? And they make friends. There's all of these positive things. I mean, the positive outweighs the negative, which I don't even know what the negative is, but the positive outweighs the negative in both of our sports. I understand that. When these people are doing, whoever drafted this bill doesn't understand that. They just think anything that looks like a bone from a chicken to a toy thing is going to get lumped into this thing. So now they're going to get rid of drumsticks and everything. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to have any more chicken wings or legs because, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So here's my question. How can they word the bill differently? How can there be an exact an exact wording? So, because you guys are worried about seizures, you guys are worried about assembly. There's like there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Advertising is a big one for a lot of the fields.
Okay, so how can this be worded differently? If you were to like have their ear right now and say, hey, we understand some of the things that you're doing. Maybe you could take this out and redo this. What would be something that you guys could tell them? Anybody?
Let's go, Sean.
Oh dear. Okay, sure. Yeah, thanks, guys. Okay, so here's the thing. Whether you are a paintballer or a firearms owner or an airsofter or a regular person, there are a lot of things in this bill that are problematic. So I think Eli mentioned the advertising piece. So one of the clauses in there says that if you were to use to advertise sales of stuff with the suggestion of violence towards other people, which, I mean, technically any airsoft or paintball shooting game video would technically probably classify, that could be a criminal offense. There is a municipal handgun ban, which takes the power to the power to make illegal firearms and gives it down to cities and towns, which means that if you own something you purchased legally, you are now forced to either sell it or move. So that's challenging.
Wow.
Another piece of that is the seizure component. So when they turn airsoft into a prohibited device, one of the stipulations in there is that if you can't produce authorization to have it, we can just take it. And of course, there's no authorization to have one of these things. None of us have anything like that because it's not a gun. They could just take it. And so on top of all of that, way down in there is the line that says basically, if you have something that resembles a real firearm that's not a firearm, then it's illegal. And so if we were to say one thing, I think there's a lot of different things that we would be very curious to understand the full scope of before we committed to asking for one thing to be changed.
Got it. Wow. That is very eloquent. Thank you very much, my friend. That's amazing. Whew. Okay. So we have a bit of time or not? Do we have what'd you say, when do you think they're going to vote on this thing?
It's really hard to say. They went from the first to the second reading within a matter of 6 or 7 working days.
Wow.
It was quick, I think.
Wow.
Normally it's not that quick, so it's going to be hard to say what the pace is going to be moving forward.
Normally not that quick. Like somebody's putting this on the speed burner here. Like this okay.
But we really don't know really, because now we think they can go on election on May, but we're not sure. And we think maybe that's the Liberal tried to push this bill as fast as they can before the election. So that's what my thought. Maybe some people think the election will never occur on May, but we don't know. So we have to work fast and we don't have time to take breaks. And I think if you look at all of these guys' eyes, we didn't sleep very well for the last 3 weeks because we're working our ass off on this because we don't know what time we have and we don't know what's going to happen. So we have to be prepared.
And that's what Nicholas said. Nicholas said he hasn't been sleeping for like 5 weeks. So yeah. Okay, so Poi, is this the one that is this the one here that Americans can sign?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the one that Americans can sign.
I
It's
think
the international one.
the Maritimes guy want to speak.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Next week you're going to get a speaking part, right? Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say, in regards to the movement of the bill and the timing it was proposed, I mean, this isn't new to the firearms community. There was a previous bill before this one called Bill C-71. We're talking about 21 right now, and it was tabled in the exact same manner, which I would personally call it electioneering to appease to their base. And it was tabled before an election. And then they got reelected. And then what happens then is they have to retable it afterwards when that happens. But when they retable it, they come back saying Canada has said that they want us to do this, so therefore let's jam through it. And I'm of the feeling that's what's going to happen. We're going to see history repeat itself when it comes to Bill C-21. We've talked about it before the election. We had an election, and if by chance they do get reelected, even though they may only get 30% of the votes like last time, they'll be the party in power, and they just need to get a couple of supporters on that. And then they'll just jam it right through, and there'll be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Also, one thing, I love the fact that we're doing petitions. They're great acts of solidarity between our communities and internationally. But for Bill C-71, we actually had the second largest petition in Canadian history.
Wow.
Amount of signatures, and our 30% Liberal government just totally ignored it. In fact, they held up a lesser petition that was opposing, that was in favor of the bill, and they used that as their justification or ratification, whatever you would call it, to say, yeah, we're doing what Canadians want. And I mean, they're polling Canadians, like we're 36, 37 million people. We're within if you combine the firearms community, the airsoft and paintball community, we're probably close to like 2.5 million people in that number. And when they're doing their polling to see what Canadians want and what Canadians think about this stuff, they're polling like 1,900 people. And how they're selecting those people is also probably
it's strange.
Yeah, as well.
It's very strange.
There's a lot
of random polls in Toronto and Montreal and nothing else.
Yeah, on the special area where they are anti-gun.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot of tricking going on in this process. Also, when the Liberals first got elected, they totally abolished the committee that usually would advise the government on firearms and public safety and this kind of stuff, and totally stacked it with anti-gun people, with the exception of like maybe 2 people that were arguably center of the argument when it comes to that. So they've got a stacked house. We can't ignore that fact, and also we can't ignore the fact that they don't really care what we think. We can have the largest petition in history, Canadian history. Not that I want to downplay that. I think more of the signatures the better, and it shows the solidarity between our communities. But I don't think we can bank on that to be something like, yeah, we got this many signatures, we're going to win. I can't see that happening unless, of course, media really picks up on that and supports us, which traditionally hasn't been the case.
Got it. Wow. So we're getting a lot of Americans signing this thing. Dave Dial from the Shack Paintball Park, he's going to put it up on his Facebook. A lot of merci beaucoup, and as the Canadians say, good on you, eh? Thanks, America, for helping us out. We're all one big family when it comes to this. Speaking of family members, tell me what your connections are with all the parks. Have you been hitting them up? Have they been forthcoming and lethargic? Help me out here. What's going on with the industry in the parks?
On our side, go ahead, Eli.
So it's kind of funny. We really threw together the whole ASIC community under Sean fairly quickly. So one of the biggest things that had to happen fast was a couple of people, and a vast network of who's who in the zoo, and that was like across the country, and we're quite large, so that's quite the challenge. So it's been a lot of reaching out and passing it on and being like, okay, this is the guy to talk to in BC, and up comes Poi and goes, okay, so I know this field owner and that field owner, and we let Sean know, and same thing happens here in Ontario. And that's just kind of a small little piece of what we've been doing.
Okay, but are they helping? Are they connected? I mean, it's their business too, right? I mean, this is part of their life. Are they you know, what's the deal? Have you been talking to these guys? I mean, are they like? I don't want to put everything on Poi's shoulder because he's in the movie industry and he can get like the big lobbying effort and stuff. But I mean, the parks, this is their income as well.
The parks
actually. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jean-Luc. No, you go ahead.
Okay, just actually, we onboarded on our consultation around the consultation table. People from the industry, people from the distribution, people owning the fields. We've got people from every aspect of this industry because, as you mentioned earlier, there's half a lot of people which are going to be negatively impacted. Thousands of people are going to lose their jobs if that bill passes on as is. We're talking about roughly, and we haven't finished counting the numbers, but we're talking about roughly $250 million worth of direct expenditures regarding airsoft and paintball in Canada, which are going to go down the drain. So yes, we got these people. We got the attention of these people, which are part of the industry, and they're sitting with us around the table.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right.
I think Eli and Jean-Luc are being modest, actually. I think that...
Probably.
Yeah. So just for reference, we are a country that, you know, up until 3 weeks ago, I didn't really talk to Poi. Like, I knew who he was, but he's out on the East Coast or West Coast, and I'm in Middle Country. And in 3 weeks, we've engaged what I can only imagine is the most monumental task of organizing a bunch of random people across the country. And so, you know, Quebec has its own culture and its own its own association. And we talk to them. We've played with them, but we don't usually have this kind of relationship. Like Manitoba didn't have an airsoft representative nationally, right? We had to stand that up in less than 2 weeks. And we've been running efforts to try and get an understanding of the full scope of this. Jean-Luc is making a good point with, I think, were you talking about your in Quebec only, your numbers?
Well, we got the initial numbers, but nationwide, and our calculations are not completed as we speak because Yannick is putting on a survey at the beginning of next week, and we're still gathering numbers, and it increases by every day. That number increases.
We didn't have no one did market research in Canada for this stuff, right?
It was hilarious.
Right, the government hasn't consulted anybody, and so we've been trying to keep track of this since this happened, and up until now, I mean, we've been trying to keep track from ASIC perspective, and we've identified about 300 businesses in Canada that are related to this. We've spoken to about half of them personally and asked them some questions, and so we know that based on those responses, about 70% of them are going to lose over half their income. And that includes paintball parks, that includes retailers, that includes the movie industry, like armor groups that are providing stuff for the movie industry. The impact is just beginning to be understood, and that's something that I think the government didn't actually understand. And you talk about the government doing this and sort of why they're doing it. I don't think they had any idea we existed. I don't think they had any idea that any of us were around, or that this had such a huge scope to it.
So
it's a really wide community, and it's not just that slim little community that is the firearms owners. It's in paintball and airsoft in Canada. We have very much a diverse background. We have men, women, all races, all ages. I see 10-year-olds out in the field. Yeah.
No. Right? And I think that's the power that this group has. I mean, the firearms industry has been mostly ignored by the government, but what we've been able to do is to actually reach people who are left voters, who are central voters, and be able to say, look, the stuff that's written in here doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, maybe you should write somebody maybe you should do something. Maybe you should call. And, you know, people tend to listen to people who are like them or sort of vote for them. So that seems to be where we're maybe making a bit of a difference or trying to make an impact, that this bill is not really a good thing to have.
That's right. And like Sean says, airsoft for Quebec parks, and I think Ontario too, we always keep airsoft on the ground. We don't have airsoft park like you have in California. We all play in paintball. So all the politicians know paintball. But I don't think they knew how big we are on the airsoft community, because when we start to ask to our member and players to call his deputy, saying you complain about the bill C-21, when we speak with some politician, they says, "Who the heck are you guys? Why are you so angry about it? What's airsoft? Airsoft is a sport. We never think it was a sport before we tried to pass this bill." So that's mean how much we like hit the bee nest, because now they don't understand how many people we are, and they start to understand now, because we hit very hard with the media and everything.
Nice. Frank in Germany, do me a favor, Frank, sign that petition, show them that it's an international cause, and help a brother, help a Canadian brother out. So Cedric said that Cedric is from FC. What is that, FC?
Canadian Forces.
Canadian Forces.
I like it. And so he said that airsoft, a lot of which is true, a lot of both soldiers and whatever, they have the PTSD.
Veteran.
You're a veteran too, right? So you have they have the PTSD, and then they're able to join and like calm down and feel comfortable again. And again, this is a big mess. Here's my question: has anybody posted or written this down, exactly the domino effect of, like, if this happens, then bloop, and all these, the movie industry, the small businesses, I mean, it's to make it an easy read. C-21 will destroy like that. Do you guys have something like that?
Yeah, we're working on it on the brief with the ASIC to explain to the government, if you do that, look what is going to happen. And I think we're maybe half done now, maybe 3/4 done of this brief, Sean, if I remember.
Yes, Yannick is very, very advanced into the brief as we're speaking. He's putting final touch to version 0.1, and it should be shared with everybody soon. But it's very much detail, and numbers are adding up, and it's scary, those numbers adding up.
Yeah, I think that paintball probably understands this better than anybody else, that when you go to play, like, you buy a marker and you buy some paint and you go and play a game, and you pay, $25 to get in. And, there's a lot of knock-on economic impacts of that. You have traveled to a place, you've bought food, you've maybe stayed somewhere, and none of this market research existed in Canada for airsoft.
Wow.
And maybe paintball. So we're just now starting to understand and be able to show the government exactly how much money is at risk here, right? There are towns in a place called Prince Edward County, Picton, PRZ is a paintball place.
Right? Yep. PRZ. Yep.
And they must bring in millions of dollars a year to that community with the paintball and the airsoft industry that rolls through there, and that will just go away, right? So,
I agree. Listen, I know as you guys say, PRZ is something that everybody, even when I'm in Germany or if I'm in Mexico or something, everybody knows about that place. And so they basically knock it out of the park, and it's become a tourism place. It's just like that's where, and again, people are going to lose a lot of industry and business if something like this happens. When I was in Germany, I go there once a year for big games. So basically, we're all familiar with what FPS is. So the airsoft, I think, is like 400, 800. What is yours? 800. What is your? I don't know your joules or your air. What is your,
for the airsoft?
Yeah,
400.
400 FPS.
Okay, so and then for the paintball, I think it's 280 or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Germany was going to get squished like a bill like this, like C-21, and they had to negotiate. Now you have to be 18 and over to play, and the FPS is a 412, I think. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic. It's 214. That's it. I messed that one up. Yeah, 412 would be crazy. No, you would be knocking people.
Always exploding the cannon anyway at 412.
No, it doesn't convert. But basically, yeah, it's the FPS there is 214. Now, 214, I can throw a paintball harder than that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, but that's the law that they had to come with. Now, again, once you get into another paintball place, or like if you're on an American base, then you can do 280, or if you're in like a park that's far away, whatever. But that's the compromise they had to come up with. Would a compromise like that be good or not? Or if like 18 and over and a certain FPS?
I think we're so early into this process. Like we're only 3 weeks in. I don't think it's worth having the what are we willing to give up argument yet. I think we're at a point where most of the parties have kind of signaled that the idea of having this in a bill is dumb, and so I think we might ride that wave for a little bit. Be like, you guys, we're all in agreement that these are toys. You've specifically designated them as not firearms. Like they are not dangerous. That's the limit for firearm. So maybe we talk about how sensible this bill is, right?
Well, here's another thing also. Just in Germany, I have not experienced it anywhere else in the world that I play. All the paintball markers have to have a thing called an F stamp. It's actually a stamp that's been put into the gun that says this gun can't shoot. They lock the chrono, so you can't go past 214. So again, they came up with some kind of way of regulating it. Is there? Would that be devastating if there was like a regulation kind of thing?
Like Sean says, we're very early. First, we just want to be heard by the government. They never ask us our position or what we want or what we ask. They didn't know we exist, and now the only thing we want to know first is to be heard by the government. That's the first part. That's what maybe Sean wanted to say before, because like he said, it's very too early to give away something because we don't know what they want.
Right.
We know in Canada that generally speaking, the argument is to have less guns, right? And that's it kind of flops back and forth depending on who's in power. But the acknowledgement is that if you start to give away some things, you will never get them back.
Of course.
So airsoft is different. Airsoft is tough in the sense that you can change the parts inside your gun and change the velocity, and I think it'd be very difficult to regulate. Like, what do you do? Like, ban the importation of certain springs would be kind of that would be tough.
And the funny part on the rules in Canada, if your airsoft shoot less, and I said less, of 366 FPS, this airsoft come a replica, and it's illegal to have a replica in Canada. So lowering the FPS, we're going against the Canadian law because
existing law, right?
That's crazy. This bill C-21 is so crazy. You cannot find any logic on this when they include the airsoft and paintball.
Okay, so let me ask you this: I'm a parliament guy, and I say, okay, I need to speak to somebody about this thing. Have you guys already elected somebody?
Brian is as close as Brian and the FSAQ is as close as we have to an organization, right? Because again, 3 weeks ago we didn't talk, so Quebec had already established what they established because they needed to have something to defend the sport within their province. And so, I mean, right now I know that Brian and the FSAQ and Yannick and their team are doing a lot of hard work at the parliamentary level to get us heard. Nice. But there's also a bunch of other industry stakeholders that are knocking at the door too, right? The retailers associations,
right?
Like small business associations are starting to knock because the knock-on impacts of this are large. So I think Brian and his team are doing a good job of representing the players and the businesses today, until we have a national organization that can represent everybody.
Right.
And then at the same time, they're not alone. There's a lot of people up there asking questions about how this is going to impact all of these different people.
That's right. And at the same time, we don't want to take all the decision. That's why we speak with each other each week, because I don't want to wear this weight of my shoulder taking a decision that's Sean's going to hate me for his life.
Well, it's not me, right? Like, I can't emphasize how crazy this is. That 3 weeks ago, I knew POI existed. but I
Right.
didn't know who ran. I didn't know the companies out there. I didn't know the players. I didn't know the organizers. And like I said, in 3 weeks, we've assembled the country. And so only now are we able to say, like, we have a group of people now where if Brian and Yannick and their team are about to put, they're talking about this memoir, this document they're going to put together, a brief. Thank you. Like, we have a group of people to run it by now. We didn't 3 weeks ago. Right.
So the only guy I know here is Jean-Luc and Sean, because I was in his Blackline simulation like 3
Nice
years
plug.
ago.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
Blackline simulation, good game.
Okay, so let me say this. As long as I've been in the sport since 2008, and I have kids older now, but like when they were into soccer, it was AYSO. When they were into baseball, it was Pop Warner. Everything had a governing body. You know what I'm saying? When I got into our sport, it was like the Wild West, and it's still the Wild West, and there's still no governing body. And so something like this comes in, and you can see it's like a lightning rod that consolidates you guys, because there was no airsoft governing body, right? We're just basically like paintball and airsoft. We're kind of like individuals who just do these things, and we have our promoters who promote the games and this, but there was never any like central thing. Now, do you think there's after this?
It's entirely possible. It's funny though. Normally, when people ask me what paintball is, and like I'm talking non-paintball, non-airsoft guys, I tell them it's like a big game of pickup hockey where everyone just shows up at the rink, or in our case at the park, and we pick teams, or you take little groups of like small teams of like 4 or 5 guys, and it's like, okay, your team and your team and your team are going to be on Alpha, and then these 3 teams are going to be on Bravo.
Right.
And it's just a pickup game. There's no set international rulings like that. Right. I think seeing a governing body is probably something that you're going to end up seeing coming out of not just our struggle, but if you look internationally, Australia, Germany, anywhere that's had that problem.
I think that I would say that Canada is very diverse, and every province and even regions within the provinces have their own style of play and their own rules, and they do things their own way. And I don't think a governing body would be the right one, but an advocating body would be accurate, right? A group that can go to the government and say, change your importation rules or change these laws, but they wouldn't. I don't think any of us have designs to tell Manitoba or Calgary how to play airsoft. It's so diverse here. People do so many things. So we're in the process of doing it now because we have to, right?
The Federation of Quebec never was made said to any organize how to play airsoft, what rule they have to use and everything. The first thing we thought with the Federation is protect our sport and show to the government that we have a security general with all the organization. That's mean that all the everybody have a glasses, protection goggles. Everybody have to pass chrono and shoot less at 400 FPS. And the first thing we want to do with the Federation is to show to the government, look, we're not dangerous. We have security measure. Everybody respect it. And so we can show to the government we are a sport like hockey, baseball, football, or soccer.
Interesting. Wow, that is great. That's a great point.
We do have on the industry side of things, we have the ASTM standards which exist, but it's so geared to like the physical design of a paintball marker or of an airsoft gun, or to the layout of a netting, or to what a safety speech looks like, but it doesn't translate to government. It translates down to industry, and it's a body of industry. It's not a legislative thing.
Got it. What happened to Kat? We need a woman's opinion here. What's going on?
I think she's gone. She has some problem with her cell phone, I think.
Oh, you know what? Every Canadian says that. I don't know why you guys have something special, but I couldn't get Hugo on from Quebec. Everybody said, I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Well, okay. We've got broadband issues.
We have the poorest internet of Canada. That's why we pay too much.
Yes, I know you guys are like, yes, I know. Poor Canada. Ooh, you're breaking my heart. Anyway.
Come have a Putin.
So what do we got, guys? We kind of answered a lot of the questions that I was kind of asking. Is there something that we're missing here? Is there something else you guys want to say?
I just wanted to kind of tell a little quick story. It's nothing regulatory or anything like that, but just an example of something that happened with me today. Well, yesterday I actually was out. I also do photography of paintball and airsoft events, and yesterday I photographed an airsoft event that happened here in Moncton, New Brunswick. And it was nice to see. It was kind of different because it was the first event of the season, and it's like, how long will I be able to continue to do this and be able to capture this type of sport? But anyways, the main part of my story is I sold. I have a couple of Glock 18 replicas for airsoft, and I sold one of them. And it's funny because I'm a restricted RPAL, we call it. I can purchase restricted weapons, pistols, and all that. And if this bill passes, the ironic thing, like in its current state, is the weird ironic thing about it is I'm not going to be able to own. Well, I guess technically we'll be able to possess within a safe our airsoft, but I'm not going to be able to utilize my toy gun, my airsoft Glock replica, maybe not even my Tipex anymore in the paintball side of things. But I can go out and buy a real Glock and go to the range and shoot it with my restricted license. That's just something. I mean, most of us Canadians are aware of that, but I know you have an international audience. But that's just part of the ridiculousness of this bill that they're proposing. Is I can't use my toy gun, but the government trusts me enough. And like since I was 18 years old, I've had over 7,700 daily background checks run on me by the RCMP to prove that I'm a good guy and trustworthy with restricted weapons. But I can't use an airsoft gun. I can't like. It's just mind-boggling, that one aspect. So just today I sold my replica Glock, and I'm in the process of buying a real one right now. That's the effect that this bill is having. I'm going from a toy gun to a real gun.
Wow. Okay. Do you guys think that sometimes a law can pass and then they just it passes and that's it. And then nobody enforces it. Do you think that there's going to be actually Mounties sitting at the gates of our paintball thing, grabbing guns from people? And
I don't know. And because we don't know, there's just can we take the chance? Can we be okay? Sure, go ahead, do that. I mean, the thing with the bill is that it prevents purchasing, sale, or import, which means regardless, if we did nothing, if we just let the bill go as it was, sure, maybe we could still play. Like if they didn't arbitrarily take things from us, but the sport would die because you can't get new players. You can't sell anything, right? It would end.
Right. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Wow, this has been amazing. Yeah. Okay, so again, you guys, are we missing anything? We're going to go around the horn and we're going to give you guys some last thoughts, but just as a group right now, do you feel we missed?
So one of the big things we pushed out through ASIC, especially early in, was writing letters to members of parliament. So I know a lot of this is international audience, but for those of us that are Canadian, and anybody watching that is Canadian, write your members of parliament, find out who your local people are, and get a hold of them. Check the ASIC website, savingairsoft.ca. Shameless plug. There you go, Sean. And yeah, there's form letters there. Make it personal and make it count.
Nice. And ask questions. Yeah. I think the most powerful thing now is not to say, please don't take my sport. The most powerful thing to say now is, can you tell me how many people have been killed? Because you say this is a public safety thing. How many people have been killed by these things? Can you tell us what economic impact studies you did? What were your estimated job losses? What were your estimated business closures due to this legislation? Because that kind of stuff will push back to them to sort of illustrate this was not well thought through.
Wow. Dude, you guys are very eloquent. I like this. You guys are not on the spot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the horn here. Brian, any closing thoughts?
I just want to finish with maybe a positive thought. that says the only advantage I see on this bill right now is brought the whole Canadian together, and I believe when this will be over, it will make us a big family forever, because it's amazing how close now I am with Poi. I never knew, and we share the same thought, and Sean and everything. And I think this bill, when we win it, because I'm sure we will find some way to win it, they will bring Canada in one big family on Airsoft and paintball.
Dude, that's amazing. Okay. Well, Jay, I don't think there's much to say after that, so I'm just joking. This is amazing.
I have to go play in New Brunswick too. I was in California like 2 years ago playing on the Milsom Maritime.
Okay.
On the boat and on the pod, I think is Oakland, close to Oakland. It was very great. I have to go to New Brunswick. It's my next travel.
Welcome.
Travel.
Please come.
Okay. So what do we got?
Basically, what I would have to say is, I think what it boils down to is it's quite possible that the Liberal government's going to be calling an election here shortly. And I think what this really boils down to, as it was alluded to earlier, most of the opposition parties are not in favor of this bill in general, or at least certain elements of it. And if there was ever a silver bullet solution to, pardon the pun, but if there was ever a silver bullet solution to solve this problem, at least in the short interim, and give us more time to address it, we need to vote this current government out of power. Whether it's orange, green, or whatever color is your favorite, as long as it's not red, I think for this next election would be critical.
Wow. Okay. Luke, have you been reading the English dictionary to help us out with? I'm just joking.
Well, I'm reading it as we speaking. That's why I've got this issue with trying to get to express myself. But honestly, it's time to band together. And as Brian said, we're all getting together. I've never seen such a strong movement, and people are getting organized very, very fast. It's amazing. The final word I would say is, this community is awesome, simply awesome. That's it's a fantastic experience, and we're going to win this one. We're going to win this one, and we're going to vote the Reds. And I agree with Jay. We should vote the Red out of power.
Okay, cool. I like it. Sean, so you like long walks on the beach? And I'm joking. This is like, never mind.
The later you leave me, there's less for me to say, because all these people say really good things. Right? What am I supposed to say?
That's right. Exactly.
I think I can echo Brian and Jean-Luc. I think I can say that in 3 weeks and one reading of one proposed law, this country has come together in a way that I haven't seen before. And everybody has come out of the woodwork. People who would never have admitted before that they play airsoft have come out of the woodwork to be like, oh no, that's my sport. The strength that comes from that is fantastic. Regardless of the outcome of this bill, whether the bill doesn't pass or airsoft gets removed or something gets modified or whatever it is, the mistake was that they tried to take our toys. And so now we've all unified, and we're going to be much more prepared the next time something comes along.
Nice.
And these are fantastic people. We would not be nearly as strong today if it weren't for people on this call.
Nice. Well, that's all the time we have, boys. Sorry. No, we probably even run out. No, I'm just joking. Let's see. What do we got, Poi?
For me, I'm the type of player that actually takes care of a lot of people at the field. So community-wise, I'm pretty well known at the field for taking care of everybody. And I've basically gone out, asked everybody how they feel about this bill. And for them, most of them, people come out and play airsoft for a lot of reasons. For them, it's basically to come play with their friends. For them, it's to take care of their social anxieties, or for some people PTSD, or like social awkwardness. They come out, meet friends that they would never ever met in outside of airsoft. Normally they probably wouldn't meet friends. For them, coming to the field and meeting people from all different walks of life, is a great opportunity for them. And this is why this is our greatest strength is our sort of diversity in the community. Not only diversity in people you meet, different social statuses, different cultures, backgrounds, whatever. You also get people from different political backgrounds too, especially in BC here. We're a mixed bag of everything here. And it's great to see that out in the field and having them play at the field and working together. You know, sometimes they'll work against each other because they're in different teams, but, you know, once in a while, you know, the next week they'll work with each other and then they'll make great friendship out of that. And that's the value that players get out of it. That's one of those things that doesn't really get sort of spotlighted a lot in this bill issue. I understand there's businesses tend to get looked at a lot more because they pull a lot more weight with the economics of things. But for players, I've been consoling with a lot of players right now, you know, them being depressed, saying that, you know, they're going to take my toys away. They're going to take they're going to take my airsoft guns away. What am I going to do after this? And I've told them, you know, the same thing over and over again. I'm like, it's going to be okay. It's not illegal yet. You know, we're working on this, you know, ASIC and all these other big bodies that are working at it and putting the time and effort into it. And, you know, I'm just telling them, I was like, we're going to work on this and I won't stop until this is either over or amended in some sort of way.
Wow. Listen, Poi, what are you doing back there? Surgery? I see some scissors and some alcohol and Jesus Christ, man. What are you doing back? It's amazing.
It's my office.
Your office. I like it. All right. You got a shout out from Paulski. He says he likes what you got going on in there. It's fantastic. Hang on a second. Let me just do this. And Eli, what's going on, brother, man? Hang on a second. Let me just do that. Okay.
All right. So first off, can I lead with saying we need to change Poi's name to Papa Poi now, officially? Second,
that is my nickname.
Awesome. So next one is we've all been putting in those kind of hours. I'm pretty sure all of our offices look like his. Then I saw a couple comments pop up. Matt Sauvageau and Chris Reddy. Great comments. Thanks for joining us, guys. Good to have you with us. And a big shout out to Sean, of course, for kind of organizing the ASIC side of things and providing a space for everyone across the country to chat.
Nice.
And get mobilized.
Cool. All right. So you guys, I learned a lot. And I learned that Kat has bad internet connection. I'm just joking. No. I miss her.
She probably got Starlink.
I wanted to have her connected. I wanted to have her part of the show. But anyway, no, I learned a lot about this. And again, there's probably a lot of paintballers that didn't know a lot of stuff about airsoft, and that I thought that you guys had like this tight community already, and you're saying no, now you do kind of thing. This is fantastic. With adversity, this kind of stuff happens, and you get to come together and help each other out. I think it's fantastic, and I also want to reemphasize a couple things. This is not about airsoft. This is about economics, and this is about the parks and the stores and the small businesses that are online selling stuff. This is about everything. So airsoft and paintballers need to get together and create something united and help each other out. That's number one. Number two is the park owners. Park owners, get on the bandwagon, help these guys out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Reach out to them. They reach out to you, and let's make this happen. And number three, to my brethren in the media world, where the fuck are you? Jesus Christ, come on. I mean, we've got so many Canada has more podcasts, especially paintball, than I've ever seen in my life. And I need Bradley to come on. I need Flag Behind the Bunker. I need what was almost non-existent podcast. What is the Steve McGuire's thing? You guys, come on. We need your help on this kind of stuff. It's not just I'm an American. We need you guys to get these guys on as well and start pushing more audience and more people. So help me out. Help a brother out. Help a brother media out. Let's do this kind of thing. Let's get these guys on and do a Behind the Bunker special report about this, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've said it. There you go. I don't speak with a filter. So there you go. All right. So anyway, if you guys feel we've covered all the bases that I feel cool about this kind of thing. I want to thank everybody for watching the show tonight. You guys are killing it. All my international audience, feeling connected to what's going on. Sign the petition, and maybe throw some shekels or some dinero or some euros into their GoFundMe thing. And that's it. Let's just help out. Okay, boys, listen. Hang out a minute. I'm going to put you in the green room. We're going to chat in a second. Let me close out the show, and don't eat all the chips, okay?
Just saying, David, thanks for your time. It's very appreciated to show our problem to the world, because I see some people from Germany and some people from around the world writing right now, and it's very impressed that all the world is with us. And thank you for this to this show.
You're welcome, my brother. You're welcome. Okay, well, guys, hold on 1 second. Don't disconnect. I'll see you guys in a second. Let me just do this, that, and that. So there it is. Yeah, C21. We're going to try to kill that bill. Oh, I said that. Well, they're going to try to get rid of that bill. But anyway, again, it's only their coalition is only in the baby steps, but they have to grow up fast. And with your help, they can. So thank you guys very much for watching the show, hanging out with us, participating. And yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to help everybody else. So let's do that. You guys go help. You see, you play airsoft, you play paintball, and there's a group of kids that never played. Go and help them. You're the expert. Go help them. Keep them in our sport. All right, you guys. Got another show tomorrow. Mitten Tactical out of Michigan. Anyway, take care. Adios. And I'll shoot you.